Hello, I am Bryan,
I'm Bryan.
and this is Bryan versus Bryan, episode 22. Games of the year, I guess is what this is.
Yeah.
Talk about some games we enjoyed throughout 2020. Help get us through this rough time.
It's a pretty good game for you, or a pretty good year for games.
That's pretty good.
I think I played more games this year than I ever have.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
I think everybody is like, game consoles sold out, games sold out. It's like people just want something fun they can do while sitting on their ass at home.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not bored out of their mind. So I think gaming was a big draw and grew a little bit more than normally would.
Yeah, agreed. They stepped their game up. They stepped their game up in 2020, that video game industry.
Whoa, man. That's good. Step their game up. I like that. We'll copyright that shit.
I'm here all day.
Copyright that shit. Patent pending, everybody. Don't fuck around and steal that. So I don't really know the format we're gonna do. Yeah, like I said, I have a top 5 list. I think you do too.
Yeah. I will say I did mine a little differently because I'm an asshole, but I didn't rank them. I just put them in alphabetical order. So my last game, will be game of the year, but the first 4 will be just alphabetical order, not ranked. That's how I did mine, anyways.
I ranked them, dude. How are you not gonna rank them? How are we gonna talk about the best?
It's too much time, too much stress. I'm sitting there on looking at a piece of paper. I'm like, it's too much. So it's easier. It's alphabetical order, and then I just got to pick a game of the year and call it a day.
Alphabetical order. This ain't fucking Blockbuster.
So that's how I did mine.
All right. So really big gaming news from 2020. I mean, we had the new consoles at the very tail end, but overall, it was kind of just the end of a generation. Really, it wasn't nothing too crazy.
There's some big stuff. I mean,
as for games,
buying Bethesda, and there's some few crazy stuff in there for like billions of dollars, or
yeah, but that's like theoretical stuff. Yeah. We haven't had any fruits from it yet. I'm just talking about what actually released in 2020 and what happened. It wasn't too crazy. We had some good games, but and some new hardware at the very end, which kind of didn't matter very much because not a lot of people were able to get it. So it was kind of like a bookend of the PS4, Xbox One era, I think.
Yeah.
Where a lot of heavy hitters came out that kind of showed you the power of those consoles. And then some came out that were just too much for those consoles.
Yeah.
And ran like shit. I think we all know what we're talking about there. So I don't know how we're gonna do this now because we got alphabetical over here.
Well, no, you just do your fifth, and I'll do my first alphabetical, and we'll keep going down to both our number ones. I mean, it really matters is our number one. I'm assuming we have the same number one.
I put a lot of work into figuring out where these should rank. First of all, before we even get into the list, I have a couple honorable mentions. Do you have anything?
I just have 2, yeah.
And so do I. Okay. My first honorable mention goes to Star Wars Squadrons. Spiritual successor to the Rogue Squadron games, flight sim. What the heck do they even call that? Flight sim freaking shooter. You fly X-Wings and shit. And I think it was pretty cool. Graphics were amazing. Gameplay was really solid. A little short. Not much of a story, but for a Star Wars game, and it's been slim pickings lately, and we haven't had the kind of flight sim Star Wars games in quite a while. So that was great to see that come back. And
I think a lot in price for $23. I'm assuming it's worth it.
I think a lot of people enjoyed it too, which is good. So they might want to do more things like that. Maybe get more budget so they can add more story to it, because it was a budget title. It was never full price, even when it was brand new. So that is one of my honorable mentions. I really liked that game. I think if you like those kind of games at all in Star Wars, that's a must play. It's really fun.
Nice. You going to me? You're just doing all of yours.
Hey, you got to think of.
What are we doing?
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna throw my list out there. Come on, man. You're next.
All right. Well, it's hard because my two. I'm just derailing this whole episode because these two honorable mentions we've already kind of talked about at length in previous episodes. So I was just gonna mention them. But I mean, there's just two. I'll just say them. But my honorable mentions were Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster. So we both really liked it. If you guys want to check out our thoughts on it, we did a previous episode on it. And then my other honorable mention is Resident Evil 3 Remake, which we both also really liked. It's a badass short action game. So if that's up your alley, I definitely get it. That's also on sale. And also, I think if you guys want to know what our thoughts are on that, I believe we talked about it loosely on our Resident Evil franchise episode back in October. So those are my two.
That was my other one, Resident Evil 3. Yeah. That's my other honorable mention. That's a fun ass game. Really good looking game.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I've been meaning to play that again. I mean, because it's a short, brisk. It won't take too much of your time, but it's fun. Yeah, I've been meaning to start that one again. Definitely Resident Evil 3 was really cool. Wasn't quite up to Resident Evil 2 remake standards, but it was still good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll do the list, and then I also have a biggest letdown of the year. You want to do that last, or?
Yeah, let's do that last.
Okay. Yeah, so my number 5 was distinctly my number 5 is Miles Morales, like whatever special edition that comes with Spider-Man Remastered. Because Miles Morales alone is why I make the distinction, wouldn't have made my list. But Miles Morales, the special edition that comes with Spider-Man Remastered on PS5, I think that is number 5. Because those are two good games, but you put them together, it's a really big chunk of stuff to do. A lot of fun gameplay. You get all the DLC from the original Spider-Man, and then Miles Morales is really short, but you get to use that as your bookend after playing Spider-Man. It's like the little sequel. Graphics, like I said, were probably the best I've ever seen on a console. With the new Miles, super fun, looks great. Pretty reasonably priced. Like I think it's what was it, like $69.99, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
No, I think it was $79.99. So you had to pay $20 extra for Spider-Man Remaster, which I think is totally worth that. If they put that on a disc for $20 remaster for PS5, like who wouldn't buy that? They put a lot of work into this. It looks very different. I mean, they freaking got a new guy to play Spider-Man, so they put some work into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 5. Them specifically together, I think if I was to judge Miles Morales on its own merit, it probably wouldn't make a top 5. But you bundle it in with the first game, that's a lot of content and a lot of fun. I can't not have that on my top 5.
Yeah.
So that's my 5.
Yeah, good choice.
What's your Z?
My first in my alphabetical is a game that I think I've talked about many times throughout our ventures, and that is Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal fucking rules. And it's kind of a game that surprised me. When I jumped into it, I was a really big fan of Doom 2016, and I'd say for the first like hour and a half, 2 hours of Eternal, I wasn't really digging it. Like it kind of has a more arcadey interface, and it was just there's what do you call it? You can like what are those games called where you jump platforming? There's a lot of platforming in this game, which didn't exist in Doom 2016. But dude, about halfway through, I found my groove, and this game just really fucking clicked. And it was just an amazing experience, and it was hard, but it was not like this isn't fair kind of hard. It was just kind of like, okay, I got to come at this at a different angle and try a different tactic, and But yeah, the gameplay is super fluid and fast and fun. It makes you feel like a badass. And yeah, if you haven't played Doom Eternal and you liked Doom 2016, I highly recommend it because this game is really, really good. And I think it's on Game Pass and $20 on Steam right now. So there's no excuse not to play it. It's great.
Look at this guy knowing prices on Steam now. Nice. um, yeah. I mean, that I wouldn't even say it's abnormally hard. Doom games are just hard.
Yeah.
But it's just because it's so frenetic, I think. I don't know that was frenetic.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Frenetic. Yeah. You're moving around in the motherfucker, okay? You're constantly moving and people are shooting the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And it makes it really hard. Like when Doom 2016, they put you in some. I've only played that one.
Yeah.
They put you in some situations, and I get pissed, dude. It's just like it's because it's a different kind of shooter. You have to run a lot and move. Yeah. It's not like a Call of Duty or something. You can stand your ground and take people out. And it's fun, and it's like you have to use like the beatdown specials, like so you can get that health back and stuff, and get the little star bits that fall out of people like Mario Odyssey. And they suck up to you ammo and health. So yeah, these games were pretty hard. I have that on Switch, and it's a super fun game to have on Switch. I wanted to get
Eternal
the second
or Doom 2016.
I've never played Eternal, so 16.
Okay.
Eternal is on Switch too, but they made it digital only. Like at first, it was going to have a physical copy, but then they made it digital only, and I'm not down with digital only games that are like that big, because Doom's a sizable game. I don't want to have to download that much, especially on Switch. It's notoriously slow download speeds, and micro SD cards aren't that big. Like you get a terabyte now, but it's like $500. I think I have a 256 gig card in there. I want to get like a 512 so I can hold a lot of shit, but
yeah,
it's just hard to spend that much money on a memory card. It's hard to do. But yeah, I would have got that on Switch if it would have came physical, because typically the whole game isn't on the card, but it makes the download a lot smaller because you got some of it on the card.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try that eventually. Is it $20 on Steam? It should be. That might be a good one to go with the PC version.
It's fun, man. Like I said, it takes a while to kind of get your groove into it because it kind of assaults you right out the gate, and it throws everything at you. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. Kind of feels overwhelming at first, but yeah, but halfway through the game, once you start kind of getting used to these mechanics they're throwing at you, the game really opens up and it becomes really fun, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Doom Eternal.
Well, that speaking of that, I just watched an episode on Netflix. I think it's what's the games that made us, or High Scores. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's that video game documentaries.
I've seen it,
dude.
I've seen the thumbnail.
Dude, check those out. That's badass. The Sonic or the Sega versus Nintendo one's good. I think it's the last episode that has Doom in it, where it talks about the creator of Doom and id Software and Wolfenstein, and so really you learn a lot of shit. And then, man, I have a all new appreciation for like Doom. That's super cool. So check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, for sure.
So number 4. This one is one of 2 of these style games on my list, which is kind of, I haven't played very many of the big hitters, I don't think, that most people chose for their lists. So I had to choose from what I have played. I'm not going to lie to the people. I'll play the game. I'll tell you how I feel about it, and I'll realize you've never thought about buying it. So you're welcome. So this one is a compilation, but I think it's a great compilation. So it's Mario 3D All-Stars. I think this is a must-have for any Switch owner. I think it's 3 of the best Mario games ever made. Well, and the 3D Mario games are all, pretty good, but these are the top tier of the 3D. So you got Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, all on one cartridge and able to be played portable, which is fucking awesome. I mean, in 2007, when I'm playing Mario Galaxy on the Wii, if you would have told me they'd have this on a portable system, I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Mhm.
You're crazy. Never gonna play this portable. You gotta have a Wii.
But not
And a
only
chip.
that, not only that, you'll be playing that Sunshine and 64
Yeah,
on the portable.
all in one game. I was like,
Yeah,
it's nuts. Mario 64, we all know, classic.
yeah,
I could play through that a million times. I'm not really getting bored. I just love it. I'll go back to it every once in a while, probably for the rest of my life. Sunshine has never been remade since GameCube. I played it on GameCube and I really liked it. It's a pretty divisive Mario game. A lot of people don't like it, but the people that do like it fucking love it. And they've always lamented Nintendo for not jumping into that fandom and bringing it back for people. Like on Wii U, they're remastering fucking everything. Even on Switch, they've been remastering everything, so people were hoping it would finally come, and it did. So, and it's not a remaster; it's a port, but it does. All of these are better versions than the original. Are polished up, and look better. Um, but they are emulation, which some people don't like. So doesn't bother me. Seems fucking same.
yeah.
But yeah, Sunshine, people have been clamoring for it to come back in some way, shape, or form, and it never has until now. So it's really cool. I think there could be a lot of new Sunshine fans that have not played it. Maybe they're too young or they didn't give it a chance because it looked a little weird. Who's got a fucking backpack? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's goop. I don't know, man.
Shooting
But
water jets.
yeah, is it kind of reminds me like almost like a Ghostbusters mechanic with this water backpack. But it's actually when you get down to it and look beyond the backpack is just like a power. It's just like I don't know, like fucking the raccoon tail or any other kind of powers. They just add little things you can do, but it's always on your back. So you can choose to use your powers when you need them. And it's super fun. I just played some last night. Super fun. Love Sunshine. I am one of the people that love it, not hate it. And then, of course, Galaxy is super innovative, cool game, playing on spherical levels and shit, and it plays really good on Switch. I have a Switch Lite, so I'm playing it portably, and you would have to point at shit in the original, and on the Lite, obviously you can't point because the controllers don't come off or anything. So you just kind of it's a touch screen, so you just beep, 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 touch the little star bits to pick them up, and it works. Uh, even though you're taking your hand off the Switch, I still feel like it works pretty well. So that as a collection, I just feel like for $60, people almost would have bought Sunshine. These Sunshine heads probably would have spent that on Sunshine alone. And you got 3 awesome 3D Mario games, and it's got like all 3 soundtracks included.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not into that, but a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And it's like these are classic big soundtracks, so those are on there too. Really great game. If you don't have it and you have a Switch and you've ever liked Mario, give it a chance. I don't think you will be disappointed.
Yeah, I definitely need to buy this. It just kind of went under not my radar because it was on my radar, but
And you got to do it soon because, like I said,
the clock is ticking because they're taking it away in March.
For some reason it's going to be a limited edition. They're not going to sell it anymore. It's like, why? Why the fuck? This game would sell the whole lifetime of the Switch, dude. It's like one of those games when you buy a Switch. It's like 10 games when you buy a Switch. Like, oh, which one of these do I want first? Because these are the 10 that you have to have, like Zelda, a Mario, shit like that. Pokemon, maybe for some people.
Definitely got to get it soon. I'm really eager to play Sunshine because I played it on GameCube. Haven't played it since. I remember liking it. I never beat it, so
me neither. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So I'm anticipating jumping back in, and also just to fuck around with not Sunshine, Galaxy. I haven't played that since the Wii, and I had a great time with it. 64, I've played many iterations of it, and I'll probably play around with it, but I think I'm most looking forward to is Sunshine and Galaxy. But yeah, that's a good choice.
I was just playing Super Mario Sunshine last night, and I hadn't played in a while because it was one of those parts where this is like the furthest I've ever been in the game. I love the game, but a lot of times when I was younger, I just played the beginning of games and just get stuck, and then I kind of just replay those beginning stars or whatever because I wasn't that skilled. Um, so I had been stuck on Sunshine for like months, and I hadn't played because I was on this one level, and it was super frustrating. And it's like you got to climb up all this shit, and you got to get to the top of this thing to get the star. And every path to get there is like a little plank that if you fall off, you got to start all the fuck over again. And there's lots of enemies like coming at you trying to stop you. And so it's just one of those super frustrating ones. And yeah, I would just like, I cuss. I just get fucking pissed. I just fall off like fuck. Go over and climb the thing again. And anyways, I finally fucking beat that yesterday or the day before. So I'm super hyped, and now I can fucking move on and see more of the game that I haven't seen before because that was really stopping me from. I want to beat this damn game, see what's at the end, and get to Yoshi. I've never even got Yoshi in this damn game. So that's what I was doing. Fun game, super fun story. You're welcome.
Nice. Word.
Anyways, I think we're on to your
4
next. Yeah.
All right. So going down, it is Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, nice. Oh, thank you very much.
Man, oh man. This game really surprised me. This came off the heels of Last of Us, which I thought was great. And I kind of, as at the time where I was either one or the other, and obviously I'm going to pick Last of Us. And I remember seeing the state of play for Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm like, it looks all right. Whatever. You're samurai and you're riding a horse. It looks like Witcher, but with samurais, basically, or Red Dead, but with the samurai.
Yeah.
And so it didn't really hook me. And just seeing the gameplay, I'm like, I can probably skip this one and get it later down the road, which I did. But when I finally got into it, this game is really, 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 really good. It's has addicting and frenetic, I believe you said, gameplay, and it has so many layers and depth to it. There's different styles. There's like assassin stuff. Just traveling around the world is unique and different. It's something I haven't seen in a game. Most of these open world games, they have a little, map in the tiny corner of your screen, and you're always just kind of looking at it. You're darting your eyes back and forth. In this game, it uses the wind to kind of guide where you need to go, and it's just a flick of the touchpad on the PS4, and this wind kind of comes in and shakes the trees, and it's so cool because I found myself, instead of my eyes darting to the corner every like 10 seconds to see where I'm going, I'm just looking at the whole screen, and I'm taking in the whole environment. And it also makes for like fun exploration because you'll be riding, there's a fox over there, I'm gonna go do something with this fox, or there's the guy over here. So yeah, and it has a really good story, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't expect to kind of get swooped up into this kind of grand epic of the invasion of the Mongols, and goddamn you Mongolians. And yeah, like even in the open world, this game doesn't waste your time. It's not like, hey, Spider-Man, I got 50 backpacks in the city. Have fun getting every one of them. Like, there's none of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, everything you do, there's a story to it and real characters. And I don't know. So
there was a spring roll hidden at each corner of the map.
Go get it. But yeah, I mean, it's also one of the most gorgeous games, just as like not in like graphical wise, but just environments and art design. And there'll be times where you kind of just running through the forest and it looks kind of normal, and then you you peek out, and all of a sudden it's just a field of just red roses or like pink. I don't know, just some of the visuals in this game are jaw dropping. But yeah, this game is amazing. If I mean, I don't think you've played it, but I think I highly recommend anyone who has a PS4. Even with the PS5 now, I think they had a patch for it. I think it's at 60 frames now. So I think they patched it for PS5 owners if they haven't played it. But yes, highly recommend Ghost of Tsushima. It's really, really good.
Yes. Love it. Yes. Ghost of Tsushima. Hiya.
Yeah.
Love it.
There's so much I can talk about this, but I'm not gonna, it's really good. Just play it, everybody.
Good. Don't. You're boring me.
Please stop. Are we
I
done
haven't
yet?
I haven't played this. Okay. Um. Yeah, I've heard great things about that one. It's just not something I looked like I had to play, so I never did. And now that I moved on a generation, I don't know if I ever will. But I do hear that has some PS5 upgrades, like it plays at 60 or something. What was it, locked at 30? I think on
Yeah,
PS4.
yeah. The update has the locked 60, I believe.
Sweet. So at least there's something.
Yeah.
To try to pull me in, maybe. All right.
Cool.
Next one I got is number 3. Then, so this one. So we obviously think very differently about this game because this was in your honorable mentions and it's on my motherfucking list, bro.
Boom.
This is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, 2 remaster. Bring it. The Hawk is back, baby. Makes me back. Makes me I want to go out and buy a birdhouse deck, go to my local Zoomies and pick out some wheels and some bearings and hit the streets rolling, man. So remaster of 1 and 2. I just love this game, man. It's like they've tried this before where they remastered them and it just sucked ass. But this one, oh my god, they brought all the love and attention it deserved, and the graphics are pretty damn amazing. And these character models are pretty fucking awesome. It's cool to see like all these guys rendered way better than they ever were, but now they're old. Like
Yeah.
they're using the old model.
I thought that was cool.
How they actually look now instead of using how they were in the game. So that's really cool. And they got like pretty much everybody back. I think they did get everyone back. I don't remember anyone that they're missing. I was gonna say Bam Margera, but he wasn't in there until 3, so he shouldn't be in there. Yeah, I mean, this game just brought me back to 1999, 2000, and that's why I love it. It's just a trip down memory lane, feel like a kid again. It reminded me of that time period. My buddy Luke would come over and spend the night, and we would play like Tony Hawk 2 and just all damn night, just take turns playing levels, beating a level, and then we'd beat it with like every single character in like a night, just so we could get that little like 2-minute skate video that you get at the end by beating it, and we had to see them all. Just you play for hours just to get that little skate video. You do it with the Create a Skater, you get the Bales video, and then you get the special characters like Spider-Man. It's like, oh shit, now we got to beat it with Spider-Man. What's Spider-Man's skate video going to be?
Yeah.
So it was always that incentive, and it reminds me of just fun times as a kid, and it just brings me right back. And who doesn't need a little bit of that nowadays? So I loved it. Feels great. And it wasn't full price, right? It was a budget title.
Yeah,
I think it was like
$40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 39, and fuck, dude, that for 39, they did an amazing job. So I really hope that it sold well, so people can see that Tony Hawk, because Tony Hawk has been kind of seen as a failure of a franchise lately because of so many flops. But I don't think it's the games. The brand isn't dead. As the games you made were just shit.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully this shows it. Like, people are ready to play Tony Hawk, but they don't want you to go off on a tangent and have some crazy ass story and wacky characters and change the art style. Like, for how ridiculous Tony Hawk is, like jumping over shit and all this, it was a little bit grounded.
Yeah.
Which what they started to lose, because it was a little bit grounded because these are all like real brands and real skaters, and it's like real locations. Obviously, the skating physics were a little crazy, but they started to go crazy with everything.
Yeah.
And it was just too much, I think. So I hope it sold well. I think it did, to show Activision that people will play Tony Hawk games if you make good ones, and hopefully they'll come out with some new stuff. So I'd love to see a 3 and 4 remastered. Like, oh my god, like 4 That's kind of an unsung hero of the series. That was really fun. It was the first one to have a open world where it wasn't timed. You just kind of went up to the objective. It was like
Yeah.
people. That's what I'd like. And 3 was one of my personal favorites. I love 3.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So 3 and 4 remaster, man. That's the goal. I hope, because that'd be so sweet. But yeah, that's my number 3. Just a fun ass trip down memory lane with Tony Hawk.
Yeah, that's a good pick, man. It's like I said back in September, I think this game is awesome. I echo everything you said. The music, the gameplay, it all
Oh
feels
yeah.
like, being back in my living room as a 15-year-old, having a blast. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's come up since because we did kind of an impressions, not really review. I ended up beating it, 100%ing it, both games, all goals, all whatever the hell, all trials. I was bummed at first because I beat it with a character and then I went back. I'm like, you know what? I'll just play the game again with like a created character because I didn't jump into that yet. I'm like, so I kind of created this new person, and it was unfortunate because when I jumped back into the game, it was still 100%ed. The only thing that was in the levels were the stat points. So there was no VHS tapes, no skate to get. It was just the stat points. So I thought that was kind of a bummer because I wanted to play it all over again with a new character. But I have since read that they patched that, so now you can jump back in and play the game from scratch with a created character after you've already beaten it. So I do want to get back into it with a created character and play it again because it is fun. Yeah, it just didn't quite make my top 5, but yeah, it's a good pick. That game is really, really good.
Faux show.
All right, my turn. So my next one on my list is Hades. This is a Nintendo Switch and PC only. It's not on consoles yet, but I imagine it will be. But this is a game that everyone talked about, and I was like, whatever, because the thing that kind of didn't make me want to play it is it's a roguelike, and every time people fucking lose their shit over a roguelike game, I get all excited and play them, and then I hate them. Like, I played this game, Rogue Legacy, played it for like an hour. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then people, it was like 2 years ago, people got obsessed with this Dead Cells game. Game of the year, 10 out of 10.
Did you play The Binding of Isaac?
No, I didn't play that.
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah. So yeah, Dead Cells comes out a couple years ago, and everyone's 10 out of 10 game of the year, and I play that, and I'm like, maybe like this roguelike thing just isn't for me. But I'll try. Third time's the charm type of deal. Hades is only $20, so I'm like, you know what? I haven't played the Switch in a while. Maybe I'll just buy this Hades game. The worst case scenario, I'll get a couple hours in, whatever. It's $20, and woo! This game is addicting as fuck. I don't know what it is about this game in particular and how they do the roguelike type stuff, that it really clicks, and it's really, really addicting and fun. And the gameplay is fast and fluid, and every time you go back into playing the game, it feels fresh and new when you get new weapons and upgrades, and each time you get stronger and stronger. We're like, the first couple try-throughs of mine, I got my ass kicked, because I mean, that's kind of the point. But the further you get, I'm going in there now just whooping ass, and you kind of progress, and it's really challenging but fair. And if you just stick with it and upgrade and keep trying, it's a blast, man. It's really fun. This almost edged its way into my number 1, I wanted to give it some love. And also, I think technically, I think it has the best gameplay out of everything on my list, just as a gameplay perspective, not if you get away all the stories and stuff. What do you mean? Nah, you haven't played the fucking thing.
I said, no, you're losing it. A roguelike, I don't have to play it. I know it's a roguelike, and that ain't nowhere near fucking best gameplay. It's like, oh my God. Hey, crazy.
2 months ago, I would have been right there with you, but playing this game, dude, it is so fucking good and so addicting, and just like, it is the gameplay that keeps me, like, I've put in, I think.
So what the fuck? It's like Devil May Cry, right? It's like a third person, like fighing. Like,
no, it's like
people.
It's not like a top down. It's like one of those angle ones. I don't know what view you would call that.
This is isometric.
Isometric, yeah. But yeah, you're basically, so the story is you're the son of Hades, and you're trying
I'm just trying to visualize what's happening to this. So it's like Smash TV, like characters coming into a room and you're fighting them from a.
So yeah, you enter into a room, and then enemies spawn, or they've already spawned, and then you just take them out, and then you go to the next room and the next room, and then you keep going up until you finish the game. But yeah, all the enemies obviously have different strengths and weaknesses. You have strengths and weaknesses. You have 6 different weapons you can choose from, and you get them all pretty early on. So it's not like one of those games you have to play fucking 10 hours to get a weapon. You get them pretty early.
Your choice of 6 weapons in 7 colors.
I'm telling you, man, it's fucking good. It's like I said, it's only $20. If you like roguelike, or if you just like really good gameplay, addicting gameplay, then I highly, highly recommend it. It's really, really good.
Hey, if you like it, you like it.
Yeah.
I bet some other people will too. I just never found one of those that I do like. I don't know, something about no progression, something about like, you know, the game restarting, no real objective. I don't know. I'm just a very story based, and those ones you got to just, they're like gameplay based, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah,
and that's, I guess that's what I'm kind of why I kind of attach myself to it, because again, like I feel everything you're saying right now, I felt like before playing this game. I fucking hate roguelikes. So like, what's the point of going 30 minutes in the game and then dying and then do the whole fucking thing over again, over and over and over? Like, I hate that model. So I totally hear it, but the gameplay is so good that you like, every time I die, like I'll play for an hour and 10 minutes and I'll die. I'll get to like almost the very end, and then I'll die and go back all the way to the beginning, and I'm like, I'm ready to jump back in because it's so fun. Like, it's so fast and fluid, and like you just want to jump back into it. I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah, it's just hard to trust you, because I've heard this about every roguelike ever. All, you know, when they get big, they're like, oh no, if you don't like roguelikes, this is the one. It'll change your mind. And then I go buy it, and I'm like, it fucking didn't change my mind. Like, that was the Binding of Isaac. Like, I held off on the Binding of Isaac for so long, but then it just kept coming up in all these Nintendo like forums and things, like, oh, it's so good. It's like, fuck it, I'm trying this shit. And fuck, yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, we all have our likes and dislikes, so I get it. But
maybe I would like this one, but who knows if I'd get brave enough to try, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's my next one on my list. Looks like we're on to our number 2s.
Number 2 in the countdown. This is Casey Kasem, and number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Come on down. All right. Final Fantasy VII Remake. PS4 system game for consoles to play with a controller. That's the name of the game. I love this game. I think it's really cool, and I don't like Final Fantasy VII. Not a big fan of it.
Wow, I think you're the only one in that camp.
Yeah, I tried it a couple times. I just find it to be kind of boring and drug out. I mean, it's such a classic. I've tried it a couple times, and I don't know, maybe I came way too late looking at these shitty PS1 graphics. It's hard to get into. It's kind of fun, but then it's just so slow with the turn-based everything. And I think this took what was cool that I liked about Final Fantasy VII, was like the story and the characters and the kind of the world, that crazy like steampunk kind of shit, and made it more accessible for people like me by making it what do they call that? The fighting, god dang it. It's not turn-based. It's
no, it's
they made it
active, or
they made it real-time fighting. So it's like an action RPG. And I just love it now, because now you're like hacking with the sword for real. You're actually doing it. You're pressing the buttons. You're not just watching him. And some people don't like that because they really liked Final Fantasy VII and they didn't like that change. But I didn't have that much of affinity. I know there are still some people that like Final Fantasy VII that loved this. And the graphics were amazing, and the story, like it's a cool game. I play for like an hour, and sometimes, depending on where I am, like half of that is cutscenes and people talking, and I'm just enjoying it, just sitting back and watching. Ooh, it's good. Let's go. Let's do it. And yeah, it looks great. I guess it's not the full game. I don't know how far it gets, but I hear it's like a third of the Final Fantasy VII game, and they're supposed to be coming out with another one, and then maybe even a third one to fill out the whole 7.
9 years,
which is crazy to me. I mean, this one took forever to make.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't
and
expect a sequel or a follow up for at least 5 or 6. Well, I mean, technically,
5 or 6 years.
dude, this is how long this one probably took a decade to make. But again, they've already made this one, so maybe the second iteration will be easier because they
Yeah,
already have the
I'm
models and all
just
that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
It's like you can't wait too long.
Yeah,
When you make a remaster that's only half of the game or even a third of the game, and then you make people wait like 5 years till the next part. Like, come on, dude, you can't
yeah,
do that. So I'm hoping they don't, but they might because now we're in the middle of a console generation change. Now you got to make it for like PS5 because
mhm,
by the time it comes out, probably PS4 and all those will be too late.
yeah.
But yeah, I like this game. Super, super fun, and it fixed everything that I had a problem with in Final Fantasy VII. And it's just it's a really like when I don't want to play anything too crazy, it's chill. Even though it's like action fighting, uh, I don't find it to be too intense. I could just sit back and enjoy some cutscenes and enjoy the story of the game. So really liked it. I suggest trying it. Even like Final Fantasy VII fans, of course, will probably like it. But people like me who never really had an affinity for Final Fantasy, uh, even seven in particular, this might be a way for us to get into a classic, one of those games that's always in the best games of all time debates.
Hmm.
An easier way for us to get in, and so either way, fan or not a fan of seven, check it out. I think, and it's getting cheap now. I'm pretty sure I see it on sale all the time.
Yeah.
I bought it brand new, like day one at Target for $39.99. It was supposed to be $59.99, and I was expecting it to be $59.99 when I took it to the counter. But they rang it up, and I don't know what happened. I think they ring it up. I don't know. They had the wrong pricing structure on there or something. But I was like, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Dude, what the fuck is with you walk in the store, you get a game, and then what was your Disney Plus thing and Hulu price that you got for fucking half the? You're just getting lucky with these.
Yeah,
Disney didn't know. Tell them.
I pay I pay like six something for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
Yeah, isn't that like $14 or something? $12?
Yeah, something like that.
God damn it.
Yeah, because it was like it was like some, I don't know, some deal where it's like buy two get one free. So I bought like 3 games. I was ready to spend like like $150 or something. But in the long run, it was quite a bit cheaper. You're saving like $60. But it ended up being that like Final Fantasy was the free one because it was the cheap one. It was 39. I'm like looking at the receipt, like why the fuck is this 39?
Yeah.
And then I went on like one of my game sites. I'm like, because they're all posting pictures of it. Yeah, I got my Final Fantasy 7. And I was like, yeah, I got mine. It was $39.99 at Target. Is that normal? Did you guys? Everyone's like, no, it's 59. I was like, well, I mean, I thought he rang it up wrong because I had another game that was 39. So I thought maybe he rang that up twice. But I looked, it says FF7, PS4. So it had the name. And so I told everybody, hey, go to Target. Apparently it's $40, and they're not telling anybody. It said 59 on the fucking shelf.
Weird.
So that was cool. I got that for cheap, and now it's even cheaper. I've seen it down to $19.99 at some places. Just look on the internet and go somewhere and price match it for $20. Whew, damn, what a deal! I'm sure you could find it for $20. Even if you find it for $40, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. I haven't played this. I played the original Final Fantasy VII. I'd never beat it, and I've never been a Final Fantasy guy myself, just like you. It's one of those franchises where everyone flips their shit, and then I play it, dip my toes into it, and then just walk away from it, kind of feel. But yeah, this one I passed up, and I keep passing it up. Like I chose Ghost over this when I was kind of looking at them, which one do I want to play, and then I was almost going to buy it again, and then I'm getting Death Stranding instead. So I don't know. It's one of those games where it's like I know it's good, and everyone
you're gonna get Death Stranding.
I have a lot of things to say about that game. But,
save. Oh, you've already got it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, save yourself some pain, bro. That shit is whack.
It's actually really good, but I'm not that far in.
No, it ain't. Yeah, keep playing because it's gonna be the same goddamn thing for 90 hours.
Dude, that game is so peaceful. I love it.
Yeah, it's peaceful. You play it a little bit, but you keep. Oh god, it's so goddamn boring, dude. I tried to love it, and at the beginning, I did. I was like, it's good. It's just walking, but then it's just walking, and then it's just walking, and then it's just walking, and then it's walking, and then it's walking, and then it's walking. And
Yeah.
there's never like any characters you meet. You're always like walking to like a stupid pod that you go in and deposit your shit. You don't even get like a cool cutscene like most Kojima games. It's
Mhm.
like, dude, I have no, and it just disappointed me so utterly.
Fair enough. I'll see if I share the same fate. But yeah, so for some reason I keep passing Final Fantasy up, even though I know it's good and people rave about it. I don't know. There's something about it where I'm just not like eager to jump into it. I do want to play it, and I'm sure I will at some point. Maybe somewhere down the road, if I get a PS5 and they upgrade it somehow at 60, maybe I'll jump into it. But I guess that's a good choice. I mean, everyone seems to love it, so you seem to enjoy the hell out of it. It's your number 2, so
Yeah, I just put it up there as number 2 because I mean, I think it deserves a lot of recognition, which I mean, it's based on an amazing classic people
yeah,
love. And I've never, out of all the Final Fantasies that I've seen and tried, that's probably 7 was the one that I could have liked the most because the later ones they start to get too fucking wacky for me with the girly looking main characters and their long ass hair and
yeah,
it seems like they go really crazy. This one had a really kind of grittier story than most Final Fantasies, as far as I'm aware. And so I gravitated towards it, but couldn't ever quite get into it. So now this has made me get into it. So yeah, I like it. I think it's my number 2 of the year because a lot of stuff, a lot of these big games that people are liking, I haven't played. So I just gotta rank what I've played.
yeah, for sure. And hell, I mean, people agree with you. It's not like Final Fantasy is not on anyone's list. I mean, I think it's pretty much on everybody's list as far for the people who've played it. So I think you're not alone. So I guess it's mine. Next on the list, and again, this isn't my number 2. This is just what's alphabetical. And
Mm-hmm.
this is a game you didn't put on your. Well, you guess you did, but you had a caveat with it. But my next on my list is Miles Morales. I thought this game was really good. I think it took the good aspects of Spider-Man, but the game that came previous, but kind of streamlined it. So, and what I mean by that is like in this game, you have to go to a fucking lab and do stupid ass puzzles. The puzzles in Miles Morales are more organic to the environment and to the level. It's more like, hey, tether these things and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I think that the combat was streamlined as well, and they added some new additions to the combat that made it more fun and fresh. And I actually think the combat's better in this than it is in the other. And I'm going to be curious to see how they deal with that when they do Spider-Man 2 without the Venom stuff. So I thought the Venom stuff was awesome. I didn't like it at first. I'm like, but the more I got used to it, and the more I really liked it. And I also think that they kind of pulled back on all the stuff you can do. I felt like in Spider-Man they gave you so many fucking tools where it's like I only use like 2 of them, but the list goes on of like how many things you can use, like your gadgets and all that. This game didn't have as many, and which I appreciated. I got to kind of fuck around with more stuff. The story isn't as good as Spider-Man. I think it was an all right story, but it kept me engaged. And I loved the Manhattan and Christmas time. I'm a big Christmas person, so to see a game in Christmas is always fun. And yeah, I mean, overall, I just had a fucking blast with it. I thought it was really fun,
Yeah.
and I guess I can speak for you because I haven't experienced it, but this was the first game that was on PS5 and to show the PS5 power, which I I haven't experienced yet, but I imagine for a lot of people, like this was a fucking pretty good
Yeah.
time and looked great. So, anyways, that's Miles Morales.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good game, but by itself, for me, it didn't make my top 5. But like I said, with the other one, oh, easy.
Mm-hmm.
You get that's a uh, great value.
It's a good double hitter,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And I was just playing. I just beat Spider-Man Remastered, the original story, like the other day, and I just remembered that you remember at the end you have to wear that stupid black and yellow suit
Mm-hmm.
that they force you to have at the end. I was like, dude, it pissed me off again. I was like, God damn it, this ugly ass suit. You're gonna
Yeah,
make me beat the game in this ugly ass suit. I want a red and blue suit,
yeah. That's some
dude. It was
bullshit.
like, what is this? I was like, it pissed me off. He took away my custom suit I've been rocking the whole game. I want to beat this motherfucker in Tobey Maguire's suit.
Yeah.
Feel like a G. I gotta wear this ugly ass yellow and black suit. Which reminds me, there's been a lot of online controversy, I guess, over Spider-Man's new suit. Have you seen in 2021, like in the comics? Oh my god, it's terrible.
Yikes.
Google it sometime. It's fucking ugly.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, I could see how someone would do that. Miles Morales is a solid game.
Sweet. All right. I think that puts us both on. We haven't said it yet, so I'm assuming it's the same game.
Yeah, Payu Payu Pop 2.
Yes, Payu Payu Pop 2.
Whoop, whoop. It's a 2 in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 in it. Yeah, I think it's easy to say that the Last of Us 2 is our selection, huh?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was amazing, and so it left us all just salivating for a fucking sequel and like wondering where the hell would they go with this story? What the hell could they go with this story? And then the way they did go, causing a lot of controversy. It's controversial. I was getting pissed at some of the choices they made, but I wasn't like, this game is terrible. I was like, I knew, you got to do that sometimes in films and in video games. You can't just fucking do the first game again. So
yeah,
I enjoyed it. I wish there was a little less of the new protagonist and we get a little more of being our old protagonist, because that's who I had a connection to. Even though they try and make you love Abby, every scene where she's fighting Ellie, I'm like, dude, kill this motherfucker, kill this bitch. Yeah. It's like, I don't care how much I like you. You killed Joel, you asshole. It's like, yeah. I'm not having it. I'm not forgiving you.
Yeah, man. Like this game, it was fucking hard, to be honest. The game of the year, it was like Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and this. And depending on what day it was like Hades or it was Ghost. And I was kind of playing around with Ghost and Hades quite a bit. And then I just had to sit down and be like, just fucking remember The Last of Us. And the thing that immediately popped into my head, and I think the reason why I ultimately was just like, you know what, it's got to be The Last of Us, is Joel's death scene. Joel's death scene is so fucking like well acted and so like disturbing and emotionally fucked, where I've never ever experienced. Like my heart rate was fucking going. I'm furious watching this. Like no other game has done that to me. And this game doesn't do it just once. It does it multiple times throughout its, 30 plus hour story. And just thinking about that scene, it's like, fuck, dude. Thinking about Ellie's birthday, going to the museum, and like all these things that I just always going to remember. Like no matter how great Ghost is or Hades, how great the gameplay of Hades is, like none of those games made me fucking feel the things that The Last of Us has made me feel. And on top of that, the game is just fun to play. And it's frantic, and it's like every time you roll up on a group of guys, you're like, fuck, how do I get from point A to point B without these fuckers, catching me? And then when you do get caught, it's intense. It's like, oh, and then they're all whistling at each other, they're chasing you down. Yeah, it's really fucking good. And yeah, the game is really controversial, and my heart goes out to everyone at Naughty Dog, because the game got spoiled before the game even released, and there's a lot of death threats and a lot of fucking assholes on the internet.
I didn't know any of this before the game came out.
Yeah. But so that kind of sucks for them. Me, I didn't hate Abby as much as everybody else did. I wasn't saying it was a fucking knocked it out of the park, but I had fun with Abby. And I think when I said in my review, is that a lot of the stuff in Abby's section of the game are some of my favorite moments. And not to say that that's because of Abby. It's just because of like, she just happened to be in the best parts of the game as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, there's just a lot of great moments, a lot of fucking awesome set pieces, a great ending. Yeah, overall as a package, this is 100% game of the year, and it's probably one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I know you've played Miles, so you kind of differ on that, but as far as everything I've played, just the fucking facial animations, everything, like this game looks really, really good, and the fact that it's running on my base PS4 with no hiccups or crashes, or we're gonna get into some of that later, but yeah, dude, like this game is really good. Really, really
characters. Speaking of that, like animation and facial stuff, it might be on par with Miles Morales on PS5, which is impressive. Mm-hmm. But yeah, overall, Miles looks better. But I mean, if they made a Last of Us for PS5, I'm sure that's just going to be a fucking tour de force because those
Yeah, man,
guys
for
they
sure.
they squeeze every ounce out of the hardware, just like Last of Us at the end of the PS3 era.
Hmm.
I was like, PS3 kind of sucked at the end. I was like, oh man, it's like 360's getting all the good stuff. Everything looks better on 360, and then Last of Us comes out, and it's one
Yeah.
of those ones where PlayStation can be like, oh yeah, you don't have this, and like everybody wanted to play that, and it looked amazing at the time. Um, Same thing with this new one. Yeah, Last of Us 2 is just a like a tour de force. I've been wanting to replay it, but it's one of those games that it's so emotionally draining and like
Yeah.
you almost don't want to play it again. It's like I played it. I don't need to go through that again, but I kind of want to just to get it fresh in my mind again. And it's pretty long, so it's like if you've already played it and you're struggling to get through it emotionally, like oh fuck, I got to do all this again. It's kind of stops you. But they have some updates for PS5, which makes me want to play it again. I don't know. I think they brought 60 to it, and I think they added adaptive rumble support. So they're
Hmm.
saying like when you pull a bow or the trigger tensions on the bow and stuff like that. I was like okay, that sounds kind of cool. Might want to try that. They said it makes all the weapons feel unique. So there's a little bit of difference. So I might yeah I want to redo it. Um, I don't really want to. I kind of wanted to redo one and then go into two, but I tried to redo one earlier, and it's a great game at the time. But now, after playing two, it just feels very, I don't know, stale. It's like
Hmm.
the combat loop is repetitive as fuck,
Yeah.
and it's unlike two where they add in some new stuff. So there's lots of different ways to go about it. One is pretty much you're fighting the same battle every time you battle. You know what I mean? And it just kind of gets repetitive. But that was okay at the time because we didn't know two. We didn't know it could get better, and the story was so good. You're you're fighting that battle just to get to the next bit of story to see what's going on with these characters. So,
Yeah. Oh, the other
uh,
thing I mean, this again, I was kind of bringing up the reasons why this one ended up being the other reason I thought this is kind of a stupid reason, but I think it's worth pointing out is that I think I put in 23, 24 hours of this game to take to beat it. I've only done it once. And, I just got done beating Ghost of Tsushima probably like in the last couple of weeks. And when I beat it, it was like, I think it was like 31 hours or something. But Ghost of Tsushima took me weeks to beat. I beat Last of Us Part 2 in 3 days. Like, this is a game I did not want to put down. I was playing this game like 6, 7 hour playthroughs, which is very abnormal for me. Most times when I play a game, it's like maybe 2 hours tops, and then I kind of just walk away and I kind of
yeah,
chip at it. This game I could not just fucking put down. Like I just wanted to keep going and going and let the story go out. And when I stopped playing, I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I had to jump back in a couple hours later. And I mean, that can't be lost on me that this game just fucking really sucked me in, and I couldn't put it down. So, and out of all the games on my list, it's the only one that I did that with. All these other games, I've been chipping away at them until I beat them. But this game, I could not put down.
yep. If yeah, it does take some big chunks of your life, and there's always something new or right around the corner that makes you want to keep playing. Like, oh shit, I'm Abby now. Now
Yeah.
I gotta check out what's going on with this. Or it's always something like that. Uh, yeah, I just don't know what else can be said about that game. It's
Yeah,
just
we did a 2 hour episode already on it. If you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
haven't seen it, it's our first
It's a
episode.
it's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, agreed.
Masterpiece. I think it'll go down as one of those games. Time will tell, but it's fucking amazing. It still doesn't get the appreciation I think it deserves,
Hmm.
even though I think it needs time. It needs time to marinate and
Yeah.
let people really enjoy it for what it was, and not be uh, tainted by the controversy it had or whatnot.
Hmm. Agreed.
All right, my friend.
Yeah, we made it.
There we go. Top five.
Last of Us
Good
Part 2, game of the year.
game of the year. I think almost everybody had that as game of the year. So
Yeah.
our selection is pretty on point with everyone else. So I don't think that's a cause of us being influenced by anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cause and effect of that game just being head and shoulders above everything else that came
Yeah,
out.
I mean, back in August when we reviewed it, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I think you gave it an 8.5. So it's not like we are influenced by other people's. Like we're from the get go. Like this game's fucking amazing. This is one of the best games of the year.
Yeah, and then and then 8.5. I think I gave it more than that, but even if I did, it's marinated now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's marinated and it's risen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can see it for what it truly is. With I take a step back and a little bit of time away from it. So
for sure. Cool.
All right, yeah. I mean, the last thing we have to talk about is the biggest letdowns of the year.
There's only
So-
one for me that I can think of.
Gotcha.
It's probably the same one. Yeah.
So I want to start with it's not a game, but it's a letdown, and I have it on here, and it's the console buying fiasco. So I think that was a big letdown in 2020, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and Series S. I just think it was handled badly, and I think a lot of people that wanted one of these consoles weren't able to get one, and as I think that's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys should manufacture enough to have your fan base be able to have one. I don't know. I truly hope it's not artificial scarcity type of thing. It's like, we're not going to make a lot. People want it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't give me some bullshit like, we can't manufacture that many. Can't you? You're Sony and Microsoft, two of the biggest companies in the world. I'm pretty sure you can get something going.
Yeah.
So it's just no excuse to me when there's people at home that want to give you their money and you're making it so they can't. You're putting your foot in your mouth. You're getting in your own damn way, and it's causing people to pay $1,000 for one of your consoles when they should cost 500. I think that was a big flop, and both of them did it pretty shitty. Microsoft tried to do it a little better, but I don't think it went any better than the surprise PS5 launch. Yeah, go get it now. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck
That was
you,
some bullshit.
man.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the surprise Sega Saturn launch. Like they were at E3 or something, and then they're like, "Hey, it's available now at stores." People are like, "What the fuck?" And then it just fucked everything up. You can't do that. Give
I'm
people
wondering
time.
if I think we said it in our video we did about it, but I think you said it, whereas I don't think it's even Sony's fault. I bet you Sony had a deal with all of these retailers, like, hey, we'll announce it this time, and I don't know who dropped the fucking domino. I think it was Walmart. And Walmart's like, hey,
Yeah, it was Walmart.
fucking give me, and then all of a sudden the dominoes start falling. Best Buy starts doing it, and I bet Sony execs are like, what the fuck, this is not what we agreed upon. So I don't know why Walmart did that, but.
Because even in the video, I think I was like, yeah, we don't give a fuck about the rules. Buy it now. I think that analogy was Walmart whipped out its PS5 dick and threw it on the table.
Yeah.
But
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that either, because everyone sold out, right? So does it matter that you got your money from the consoles a day earlier?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Pretty stupid.
You sold just as many consoles. Like, you knew that, I get it. If opening it early, you had unlimited stock. And so opening it early equals more sales because you have more time to sell them. But it doesn't equal that in this case, right? Because everyone sold out. So, and I think they knew everyone was going to sell out. It's not like there's going to be money left on the table. Mm-hmm. So it made no sense.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I agree with that being a disappointment for sure.
Another one, it's funny. The next one I had to cross it out because I went on the 2020 release, thing to look at things and see what I thought. And the next one is Death Stranding. But
no,
it wasn't.
You can have your opinion. It's all good.
But it was.
That's right.
But it wasn't in 2020. The PC version came out, so that's why it appeared on my list. I was like, oh, But then I was thinking, it's like Death Stranding didn't come out this year. It's like I feel like that was a long time ago. And then yeah, it was the PC version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I we'll see we'll see if you come into the same problems I had. I enjoyed it at first and was defending it adamantly
Mm-hmm.
and telling people to try it. And it's pretty unique. He's inventive. It's fun for a while,
Yeah.
and it's relaxing for a while
That's what, yeah,
until
that's my main draw is why I keep playing it. Like I'm only 6
yeah,
hours in, so I'm not very far, but it's just so
yeah,
peaceful coming off of like
well,
Ghost and all
yeah.
these other action oriented
But
games.
when you get into 16 hours maybe or 20, you'll realize that like I did, it's just the same damn thing.
Yeah.
It's like there's not enough variance in it at all to want to keep going. So I stopped. It just got too boring. And then occasionally I put it on. It's like I'm gonna do one more mission.
Mhm.
Then I do that mission and it's just boring.
Yeah.
And it's like and it starts to get so hard because they put all these obstacles in the way if your long ass fucking walk. And I was like, come on, bro, just let me walk to the goddamn place.
Yeah.
and then after I get like a super long walk with a bunch of hard shit in the middle that I have to contend with, I get there and it's just a hologram of a guy. Thank you for bringing that to the post. It will
Yeah.
truly help us. Goodbye. I was like, that's all. And it's like this is my reward for all of this work. And it's like, give me a cutscene, give me some story. The cutscenes that we did get are pretty cool.
Yeah, they are
and
pretty
and
cool.
the little bit of story, but it's few and far between as far as like we're used to with Metal Gear Solid from Kojima.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an interesting game, but yeah, it just got stale quick.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll have to keep you updated the more I play because yeah, like I said, right now I'm like you were saying, you loved it in the beginning too.
Yeah,
I'm
I did. Yep.
right there with you. I love this game, but I'm like again, I'm only 5-6 hours in, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
cut scenes. There's a lot of story that's really
Yep.
cool, and
I think at 6
um,
hours in, I would have been right where with you.
yeah. But so hopefully you can still keep its hooks in me. But yeah, the way you're describing it doesn't sound very fun. So we'll see.
Yeah, like, and I got the motorcycle, and it's like, oh yeah, now it's gonna be different because I'm gonna have the motorcycle. And then I got it. It let me use it for like one mission, and now it's like there's no motorcycle.
Mm,
I don't know. It's just like wasn't letting me. Maybe you get it again later, but it's so boring that I needed the motorcycle. I was like, okay, now something's a little different. It's giving
right.
me something different, so I'm not just walking and doing these same missions. But no. But the couple missions I did use the motorcycle on, those were the funnest, dude.
Nice.
That was cool. Because you got to be careful with it because it's like dying. It has a battery and stuff, and solar charge. So you got to get out in the sun if you. Yeah, that part was fun. But I think our biggest letdown, probably for both of us, it's probably gonna be Cyberpunk. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, I was surprised that it wasn't in your honorable mentions or your top 5 because I think out of all the people I've talked to, you've had the least amount of problems with it. So I'm interested to just hear what you say about just the game overall. It sounds like again, it surprised me it didn't show up in your mentions or your 5.
Yeah, I just didn't. I didn't think it deserved an honorable mention.
Agreed.
I mean, I like it. I think it's pretty cool, but I know it's not a good game as it is right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to love this game, and it's like I talked to a lot of buddies about Cyberpunk, and they want to defend the game. And I don't get paid by CD Projekt Red. I'm not here to make this game seem like it's fucking amazing when it's not. Like I said, I think this game does a lot of things that other games have done better. And so it's a jack of all trades, it's a master of none. I think the only thing it's mastered is like a story and ambiance of this world is pretty cool. But like, is it enough? I don't know. At this point, not quite. I haven't played it that much, so I'm not that interested. And the mechanics, the shooting mechanics don't feel very good. Like I felt much better shooting even in RPGs. And obviously the huge amount of graphical glitches and problems it's had, not necessarily on my end, but it's happened. So I acknowledge that. And it's not fair for me to say it's great because I haven't had these problems. These problems exist. I mean, they took it off both stores. They took it off PlayStation Store and Microsoft Store. I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah.
Where a game is so broken and complained about that they take it off the damn store. And then like people will be like, oh, well, Skyrim had a bunch of issues too. I say, yeah, it did, but it wasn't like this. They didn't take Skyrim off the damn store.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge step. And guess what? Sony and Microsoft, well, they don't want to do that because they get the most money when you buy it from the store.
Hmm.
And so that's a huge step, and that's has to be taken into consideration. I do think it's a good game. I do think eventually it could be a really good game, but just right now, I think it's an okay game.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
An okay game that should have been a fucking like a 10. So that's why it's
Yeah.
the disappointment for me because it's
Yes.
yeah, if it wasn't hyped up and wasn't what it was, then it wouldn't be that big of an issue. But the fact that this game to me in my mind was going to be a 10 and now it's like a 7,
Hmm.
that's a disappointment. Huge.
Yeah, this was a huge disappointment. I mean, I wasn't my hype level wasn't through the roof like a lot of other people's. I think I said it before, but The Last of Us Part Two kind of had my 2020 hype. That was my fucking game. Oh no, there. I thought you froze. You were really pausing right there, looking down.
uh,
So yeah, Last of Us kind of stole the hype thunder for me. I was still eager to play this, but I wasn't like, oh my fucking god, I need to play this game. Um, and yeah, this game, as you've kind of touched on, this game is wildly inconsistent. Like somebody with a great PC who can run this is having bugs and it's awful. So another person who has a great high-end PC has no problems. There's people who are playing on PS5 who have no problems. There's another person on PS5 who has all the problems in the world. Like
yeah,
it's a fucking Russian roulette when you buy this game, no matter what you're playing on. You never know if it's going to be a busted piece of shit or if it's not going
yeah,
to work at all. And that's not a very good sign. That's not very good.
yeah,
And I couldn't even put it anywhere on my list because I just haven't given enough time. Like I think I've only played it for 7-8 hours,
yeah,
and I don't really have any desire to go back into it anytime soon. I'm assuming I'll jump back into it in a couple months or whatever. But I just got a PC and I'm kind of jumping into Steam for the first time and in the Epic Store, and there's games I'm getting, and it's like I just got Half-Life 2 I've never played, and I'm like I'd rather play Half-Life
yeah.
2 than fucking jump into Cyberpunk.
Half-Life 2
Um,
is pretty badass.
I am. I'm pretty stoked to jump into it. But you know, I have played it. I think the last time we talked about it in our video, the game was broken and I kind of walked away from it. I have since gone back and I'm happy to report it is running better. It didn't, I think I
Good.
played it for a couple hours. It didn't crash on me. It didn't freeze. Um, but even when it wasn't having all these issues, I don't think this game is really for me. And I don't know, I think I'm just too overwhelmed. I don't know, like the story isn't that gripping. Like you said, the combat isn't that great. So even just when the game is running, I don't think it's that great. I think you kind of said it. I think you said 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'd probably
Yeah.
guess 6, 7, maybe if that. So yeah, it was a pretty big disappointment, and kind of sucks for CG Project Red. I think that they should have just not released it on those consoles or just delayed it
Yeah.
until you figured it out. But they fucked up.
Yeah, then to the people that defend this game adamantly, like, oh, guess what? If you enjoy it and you're not having many problems, good for you.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Enjoy your game. I don't got a problem with that. But don't shit on people who have legitimate issues and try to claim like they're wrong
Yeah.
or it's an overreaction. It's not an overreaction. These guys I got no patience when you got 7 years to make your game. You got 4 delays and your game comes out like this. And now your investors are suing you. You've been deleted off 2 of the biggest game stores in the world. It's like, this is real shit. It's like, this ain't never happened. And people want to defend it to the death. Like, if you enjoy the game, good. But you got to call a spade, and you got to see that this has been a shit show.
Mhm.
You got your piece of shit was some chocolate soft serve, thank God. But
Yeah.
others' pieces of shit is literally a piece of shit. And that's what they
Yeah.
got. No cone, no flavor, nothing, man.
Yeah, I've also been seeing this kind of buyer blaming, and I think that's complete fucking bullshit. Like, you have to understand that like us and other people like us kind of pay attention to these things. So maybe we should have seen the writing on the wall. I don't know, but we look for these things and we have questions like, is Cyberpunk this trailer, is that really a PS4? No, it's a fucking PC that they're running on. But your average somebody in Montana who works 9 to 5, who just has a fucking PS4 sitting around and sees a trailer on TV of this beautiful metropolis cyberpunk world,
Yeah.
you're like, fuck yeah. And at the end of the commercial, it says PS4. And you're like, you look at the Target and you're like, oh shit, cyberpunk PS4. And you buy it and you get what you get. Like, that's not the buyer's fault. That's false advertising. Like, you can't put a fucking commercial like that and say this is the PS4 version. Like, that's not the buyer's fault. It's CD Projekt Red's fault.
And then I agree with the consumer blaming. A lot of people are doing that. It's mostly the people that like the game.
Mhm.
Like, oh, you should have. It runs on PC. Oh, great. Well, they didn't just release it on PC, did
Yeah.
they? They delayed it 4 times, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, what excuses do you have? Well, how many mulligans are you going to give them before you say, "Hey, man, you fucked up. I like your game, but you fucked up." And it's almost like blaming it on this cancel culture. It's like, yeah, I agree that the gamers can be acidic and cancel culture like, but I think this game is not one of those cases. I think this is a game where people are legitimately pissed and have some pretty good reasons to be, and it's the evidence shows with all the the suing by the investors and being taken off the 2 major game stores that this isn't just fans whining like Last of Us 2, like fans whining and review bombing the game because of Abby. That's not what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's legitimate. So that's the biggest disappointment. And I still like the game and I'm still going to play it. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean it wasn't a disappointment to me.
Yeah.
Because I expected much more, because I think The Witcher 3 is like a 10. And so I was expecting this to be sci-fi Witcher style, 10.
Yeah.
And it didn't reach that. And it could maybe someday. I hear The Witcher wasn't that great when it started, but I never played it when it started. I got it much later.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like, this just was disappointing. It was disappointing for me to spend $60 the day it was released, and I get home from work and I'm fucking excited to play it, grab a case of beer and I'm ready to jump in this thing, and it crashes 3 times and it freezes constantly. Like, that is disappointing. I'm happy that other people didn't have that experience, but for me, in my experience, it crashed multiple times and it froze multiple times. And it's like, that was disappointing as fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, agree.
All right, man. That's our top. We're going to try and wrap this up and get out of here before we have more technical problems, which we've been having this episode.
Yeah.
So what we got? Last of Us was the top. Check out these other games we listed. They're also very good. And then Cyberpunk was kind of our disappointment of the year, and the console buying fiasco.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for watching. Glad to move into 2021 with you guys. Thanks for supporting us over our first year. We really appreciate it. Please, maybe show these videos to friends or family you think might enjoy the content. We enjoy talking and we enjoy having people listen. And we're always down to open up the discussions. That's why we started a little Facebook group to maybe get some more ideas and things, juices flowing. So anyways, here's to 2021. I hope it's great. Hope it's better than 2020 was. Love y'all, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Bryan. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Peace.
Later.